ladies, this is Love from Hanging Out with Love. Welcome back to my channel. If you are not already subscribed, please make sure that you click that subscribe button, you give this video a thumbs up, and that you're following me on my social media platforms. Those links will be in the description box. Today's video, as promised, is going to be about debt management and also how to avoid debt as a whole if you can. If you do not already have student loan debt, I would not advise it, but I'm going to give you just a few tips and strategies of my own that keep me from being a poor college student and also that have helped me stay afloat during the quarantine. I am a single woman. I do not have any children. So these strategies are things that I feel like can be used for any population. Even with kids, I know people are like, oh, I just don't have any money to save, but you can find somewhere to cut back, invest, and also create more income for yourself. So I'm going to talk about that. So I'll just jump right into the video. Number one, if you can, avoid credit cards. I have credit cards. I've had a credit card since about my sophomore year of college. So I got my first credit card in 2013 and they raised my limit in like 2 to 3 months. So they do help, I would say, as far as credit goes, but if you don't need it, I think that having what we call a sinking funds account, which is basically an account that you use for those recurring expenses. So like not your bills, but like things like your tires. Like I buy a new set of tires every year around the same season, typically at the end of October or in November. So to prevent me from having to just push out $400, $500 on a new set of tires, I have a sinking funds account where I put money in there periodically and I just leave the money alone. Now, some people do this like month to month. So what will happen is they'll break down 400 divided by 12 and figure out how much throughout the year they need to put up for that following year. But for me, I just take the whole $400, put it in an account and just forget about it. But do what works for you. So yeah, I think sinking funds are better for that. Credit cards should be used for like gas, something that you're going to pay off every month. And then of course, you should have money put away for those emergencies and recurring experiences. And we'll get to emergencies in just a second. So the second thing, pay your credit card debt. If you have credit cards and you're just paying the bare minimum payment, I promise you the interest that you're paying is not worth just paying the minimum payment. You need to at least pay double that. So whatever your minimum payment is, pay double at minimum and make that your new minimum payment. Also, when you get lump sums of money, just pay it. And with that being said, my next point is pay your bills on time. One of the things that has helped me, again, I think I was 19 or 20 when I got my first credit card, but I always pay my bills on time no matter what. Even if I am making a significantly lower payment than what I owe, I'm still going to do more than the minimum, and I'm definitely going to get it paid off. So I don't play when it comes to my bills. This includes my household bills, my rent. Like those are things you do not want to be on your credit report. When you look at my credit report, I can see like my bills have been paid on time. I'm always in the green. These are things that creditors look for. And if you're thinking about starting your own business, understand that when you first go into business, you will not have any business credit established, and that it is virtually impossible to have business credit without first using your own, because you are representing the business entity before your business has a formal name, okay? So your credit will affect your business credit. Next, pay collections. So if you have anything in collections, I know obviously use your discretion about this, of course, because a lot of people will tell you do not pay collections, but you definitely need to do your research and figure out what will be best for you. So the collections, I think, definitely need to be paid. If you have had like a ticket for your car, get that paid off. That can prevent you from renewing your tags. if you have an old bill from like a previous apartment complex, get that paid off. That can definitely impact you. And so the reason for that being is because when you go to apply for a new apartment, let's say you've been at your current place for like 3 years and then you go to move into somewhere else, a lot of places will not accept you because you still have a balance from your old place. And you can do what we call a pay for deletion. So you contact them, you let them know, hey, this is the money that I have, negotiate the price, whatever you'd like to do. Once you come up with that set amount, ask if when you pay that payment, they can go ahead and remove that from your credit report and they can get that done for you. Okay. And this is very important because you always want to keep your balances very low, and you also want to make sure that you are paying people that you owe. It says a lot about you. So this is how I like to think about it. I know I've explained to you like dating men with good financial literacy and financial responsibility, it doesn't really have as much to do with him just having the money. It's really about his character. So if a business or an apartment complex will look at this number and see how you manage money and determine what your character is like, why wouldn't you do the same when you're vetting men? Would you really want to date someone with bad credit? Would you want to date someone with a significant amount of consumer debt? So just think about it like that. It's a reflection of your character, okay? Next, create multiple streams of income. So this is what I'm good at. The reason why I'm able to stretch so far and go long periods, like literally, I was out of work for a little over a month. And previous to that, I don't even remember. I think it was a little over a month before I started my summer internship. And then, of course, after my summer internship. And so it was just really strange to me, like how I was able to keep up the same quality of life. Like, didn't have to go without anything. I'm not like scrounging, I didn't have to switch grocery stores because, I like fresh produce. I like really good fresh foods and fishes and things of that nature. So I felt like, did I say fishes? Fish. Fresh fish. Boy, love, you're funny. Anyway, I like fresh food, so I was able to keep that same quality of life. You ladies know I love my makeup. I love having my nails done, and I just like looking good. I like to be pretty. So I think that me being able to manage money has helped me with that. A lot of women go into debt trying to be cute. And don't get me wrong, I love designer bags. As I've explained to you, I dated this guy a few years ago, and I fell in love with designer bags because that's all he used to buy for me. And so once we stopped dating, I adjusted my lifestyle to where this is something that I'm able to get myself. But obviously over the past few months, since I was, cutting back on my wants instead of my needs, I'm not about to go and buy a $300 bag just because, that's just not wise spending. So that's another thing. Be realistic about your needs, and I will come to that next. That was actually my next point. So back to creating multiple streams of income. I don't even know how I went off on that tangent. I know how to create multiple streams of income. So a few things that I'm really good at. I'm a very organized person. I am really good at talking to people, reading visual cues, being able to assist them in creating a life plan. So this includes just business. I have the business consulting. I consult women on just loving themselves better, making sure that they're prioritizing their health, their well-being, and making sure that they are choosing the right partner to share their time with. These are things that I value. These are things that are passions for me. I also have a natural skincare line where I make natural toothpaste, sugar scrubs, body butters, and things of that nature. That was actually my first business that I started in 2016. And when I was able to put more energy into it because I'm no longer a student, my gains, my financial return was exponential compared to me just working on it part-time, posting every now and then. I had to increase with that consistency. Okay. And that's another thing I'll say when it comes to these like side hustles, don't think that you don't have to put time and effort into it just because it's something that you're doing on the side. Like, everything takes time. I know the way the world is set up right now, everybody thinks that things are just quick and easy and that you can just manifest something. But even with manifestation, faith without works is dead. So you can believe whatever you want, but if you're not putting yourself in the positions to get what you want, making sure that you're in the right place, making sure that you're studying, making sure that you stay abreast of different trends in whatever industry you're in, you're not going to make any money. And that's just that on that, okay? In addition to those, I just recently joined the financial services side of things. So that is part of my part-time income, which I'm still working on the licensures as far as like life insurance and things of that nature. If you are interested in developing some part-time income, make sure you click the email in my description box and say, I want to make some extra money. And then we can come up with a time to set up a Zoom call and I can tell you more about what I'm doing currently, okay? So that is about 4 side hustles I think I mentioned. So with the business consulting, I also have another stream of income. So 4 sources, different streams. So with business consulting, I also create websites, I design logos, I help people with their consultations, help create business plans. That is my business consulting. Then I have my skincare line. So of course I'm not doing events anymore, but events were a part of that income where I would charge people to show up. And then of course I have the product side of it where I am just selling a product in exchange for the currency, all right? On the other side, I have the financial services business. That is self-explanatory. It is financial services, highly regulated, so I cannot say too much. And what is the last one? Hanging out with love, this platform. So this is also a hobby of mine. I think it's fun sharing my journey with you all, being able to set up consultations with you. I also have ebooks and I sell keychains. Let me see something really fast. I'm sorry. So yeah, I don't have it on this particular set of keys. Look at how cute this is though. This is my mom's house key and she knows I like these patterns, so she always gets them like specifically made for me. The last one was Pooh Bear. And then my pepper spray. But yeah, the link to the keychain will be in the description box as well. It's a money bag keychain. And I switch bags a lot, so it's always on a different purse. But that is another source of income. And I actually bought the keychains in bulk. I believe I got this set from DHL. I've used Alibaba before. But I'll get it wholesale and then I'll sell it for retail at retail prices. All right. So that's how you create multiple streams of income. It doesn't have to be something you like. Like some people are like, oh, monetize your passion. No, monetize what you are good at. Your gifts will make room for you. Monetize what you're good at. All right. So the next thing, be realistic about your needs. So that is self-explanatory, but I will say like water. This is a need. Food is a need. Having your hair done is not a need. Getting your bills paid is a need. Okay. So unless you are in some type of industry where you do like entertainment and you have to look good in order to make money, I would never put having my hair done over that. And the money would need to be guaranteed. Like I know I'm going to get this back. Like after this event, I know I'm going to get this back. Plus some, be able to handle what I need to handle and my bill will not be late. Okay, that's how that works. But if that's not you, come on sis, like do your hair at home. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with washing your hair, making sure that it's deep conditioned, oiling it, tying it up every night, putting some twist in, doing a twist out the next day, looking on YouTube. You know, this is the plug. Look on YouTube and look at some different styles. Practice some different makeup looks for the makeup that you have instead of going out to buy more. So it's just things like that. Sometimes you really do have to cut back on those things that you want. I know that may not be a good feeling for anybody, but you have to do what you have to do. And essentially, you do not want to put yourself in a compromising financial situation in order to get what you need. And I'll go ahead and say this because I don't want to forget it. But as I mentioned in my last video, if I was not financially literate, if I did not have an emergency fund, I would not have a place to live. And I need for you to let that sink in. I would not have a place to live. I would be living with a family member right now. Okay? Now, do I have a loving and supportive family? Absolutely. But I'm a woman. I have a lot of stuff. I'm 25. I want to be on my own. I like my 2-bedroom. You know, I like keeping it clean. It smells good in here. This is my domain. This is where I thrive. I don't want to be in anybody else's house. But essentially, I had no idea, who was able to plan for a pandemic? People may have had emergency stashes, but who just plans for a pandemic? Now, that may be something that people start to prep for now because it's actually happened. But I never thought in a million years that we would experience something like that. You know, this is biblical. You know, this is the swine flu times 1,000. It's weird. It's very weird, but things happen. And I did not know at the time that I was preparing for a quarantine, but I knew I was preparing for an emergency. And that was a state of emergency. All right. So I have a couple $100 left in my emergency fund. Still been applying for jobs actively. Have a lot of job interviews. I think I've been on 5 interviews in the past 2 weeks, which is really good, especially for the amount of applications I've been putting in. But it's essential. I've had to tap into my network. Speaking with people from my campus, you know, students I've worked with, hi, do you know of any places that are hiring? And people are oh yeah, my job's hiring. That's how you get plugged in. So when I tell you all to network, it's not because I think I know everything or because it's a cliche and people are always oh, networking is important. No, make connections. And when you make those connections, build relationships with these individuals. Don't just meet them at an event, exchange business cards, and not contact them. Really contact them. Get to know these people. I never imagined in a million years that this person in particular, I didn't even think this girl liked me, you guys. I'm she seems sort of aloof at times. Just being completely honest, but she is helping me right now get a job that pays well, that is in my field. I'm not telling you anything that I don't know, okay? So separate needs from wants, be realistic about your needs, have a fully stocked emergency fund. So I will talk about that. Dave Ramsey, I did tell you all that I did the Dave Ramsey class. He talked about the Dave Ramsey's 7 steps. It's DAVE, and then the last name is RAMSEY. Definitely look him up. Look at some of his videos. He does some consultations. I'm pretty sure at this point he's super expensive, but the man has money and he's a great investor. And so I got this idea of an emergency fund from him. Now they say for a family, your emergency fund should be 1,000, and for a single person, it should be 500. My initial emergency fund was 1,000. Then I bumped it up to add another 1,000. And then I started putting a couple $100 in there. So it's 1,000 in this account, 1,000 in that account. Then I'll add $200. And then I was just adding to it periodically as I felt like I could. And so I'm telling you, it does not seem like a lot of money, but when you run into an emergency situation, $2,000 comes in the clutch. And I feel again, I know they say 500, but I think $1,000 is just, that's a great rule of thumb. Even if you think about like your typical rent, like my rent is like $750. So me having $500, that's not even going to cover my rent. So think about what you have to pay for. And that's how I figured out how much I needed to put away. Also with that, I was able to pay my car payment for like 3 months. Like, you guys, this was crazy. Like, this quarantine was crazy. When I tell you guys I've had a stressful year, I haven't even scratched the surface of everything. I've told you about school. I've told you about me being out of work temporarily. But guess what? I don't look like what I've been through because I prepare. I'm a thinker. And the information that I collect, I really take it in. And this is why I tell you, ladies, like, when you meet with me, I don't want you coming back to me with the same issue over and over again. I can understand having a consultation, then coming back for a follow-up and letting me know, hey, this is difficult, but I'm pushing through. But I need for you to take the information in, take heed to it, and really use it. Like, really use it. If I were to gather all of the knowledge that I've learned throughout college and not have applied it, do you know what kind of position I would be in? So when you're learning all of this stuff online, like, I know there are people who like listen to blogs and they take these notes and they're like, oh, I'm learning so much. But what are you doing with the knowledge? Are you putting it into application? Because I'm telling you, the knowledge that I have acquired has helped me. I'm telling you, the knowledge that I have acquired kept my car, kept a roof over my head, a nice one at that. This apartment is nice, you guys. And the reason why my rent is so cheap, like, people are like, oh my gosh, you only pay $750 for rent? Like, yeah, I pay $750. I live on the outskirts of like a main metropolitan area, so I'm not in the city limits. So in the country, everything is cheaper. And where I live, like, there's a bunch of houses over here. Like, there's houses all up and down this strip. This is like the only apartment complex I've seen. I don't know why they decided to put here, but I'm glad they did. I have nosy neighbors. You know, I just feel so safe. And it smells good. Get y'all some Glade plugins. I'm telling you, they save lives. I have one in there. I have one in this downstairs bathroom. I have a plug-in in my upstairs bathroom. And then I have one of those Glade, like the automatic sprayers, in my bedroom. And I hung it up and it just every 36 minutes. And you be like, hey, it smells so good in here. So if you're like me and you like smell goods, definitely take heed. I'm going to start buying some candles soon too, because it's about that season. It is about that season. So the last thing I will share with you all, definitely book an appointment with me if you feel like you need it. Let's talk. Let's get a plan together. Let's talk about what your next steps are. If you need some financial assistance, let's talk about what your next steps are. If you need some relationship advice, let's talk about what your next steps are. Also, I have a new body butter coming soon in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It is oatmeal, milk, and honey. And then the other one is called pumpkin spice latte. Who doesn't love pumpkin spice, right? It smells super, super good. As you guys know, body butter is what keeps my skin luscious, okay? You can't have pretty nails and then have your cuticles all crusty and dusty. That's nasty. And I've seen some ladies who get their nails done and their hands are just beat up. No, ma'am. All right, not cute. So yeah, I will keep you all updated on that. The link to my skincare line is also in the description box. It is queencarecosmetics.com, and no, it is not spelled the way it sounds. So make sure you click that link in the bio. I love you guys so much. I really hope that this video helped. This is one of like the longest videos I've ever done, I feel like, on, you know, one of the smaller topics. But yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you. If you are experiencing some financial hardship, understand that it can happen to anyone. But now you know how you can best prepare yourself, okay? They also claim coming in the winter, there's going to be a second round of quarantine, even though we're still quarantined now. But there will be a second round of quarantine due to flu season. So be mindful of that. Go ahead and prepare. If you have any extra money whatsoever, put it in an account. Even if it's an online bank account that you do not have a credit card for. Oh, and that's another thing. So the account that I put my emergency savings in is in an online bank account that I do not have a card for. It's a Capital One 360 account. All right. So I love you dearly. I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. And if this video blessed you in any way, please leave a red heart in the comments. And then, of course, reach out to me if you need any of the services I mentioned. I love you. Bye.